listening to Lexington Steele Live with Lexington Steele and Michelle G. Right here on LA Talk Radio.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is indeed Lexington Steele on the Lexington Steele Live show. Now tonight, well, after all, of course, it is Monday. I mean, what is it? Monday, what is it, November 3rd? Oh, my God. Your main man, Lex Steele's birthday is on the 28th of November. So after Thanksgiving, after you're done with your turkeys and your stuffings and your gravies and your what have you, even for eating your bangers and mash over there in the UK, your main man, Lex Steele, Sagittarius to the hilt, is going to be celebrating. And I want you to take a toast to your main man, Lex Steele, from the Lex Steele Live. So now, without further ado, I'm going to tell you who we have in studio tonight, before your very eyes, in person. I mean, literally in the flesh. I know you know who I'm talking about. Miss Gianna Michaels is in the house. What's going on, Gianna?
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And, of course, I would certainly be remiss if we were to not mention this new starlet, Miss Layla Price.
Hi.
Now I'm saying we're going. This isn't Throwback Mondays, but Layla is definitely representing a little bit of the East Coast flavor.
Oh, yeah.
See what I'm saying? Now, you are indeed from Baltimore.
I am.
Now, Gianna, where are you from?
Seattle, Washington State.
So does it rain as much in Washington State as people, or as it's reputed?
It gets wet in Seattle.
You know, people. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something. The way Gianna said that it gets wet, I don't know what you guys are thinking. I know what I'm thinking over here. Now, if you see this table begin to rise by anywhere between the 8, anywhere from the 6 to 11-inch area, you know precisely what is taking place in these set of pants here. But people, you want to participate in this particular night here on Lexington Live on LATalkRadio.com with special guest co-host Gianna Michaels. I mean, within the flesh. And we all know what that means. I mean literally, tangibly, terra firma. Give us a call at 818-570-5085. I said, once again, in case you're hard of hearing, that's 570 with 818. This is Los Angeles, right?
It is Los Angeles.
818-570-5085. See what I'm saying? Gianna, all right, let's get right to the meat and potatoes of it. You know what? Once I started promoting the show and let people know that Gianna will be sitting across from me tonight on this wonderful night here on Lex Live, many people were asking me, well, what's the situation? Will Gianna Michaels, I have to ask you this, when or will she ever return to the silver screen?
Man, you know what? I don't even have an answer for that. I'm still heavily involved in the adult industry. I do custom videos. I have my site, GiannaXXX.com, where I have content that you can check out at this moment.
Original content?
Correct. My own. And then additionally, other stuff that you could come and check out. I also am doing webcamming and a whole bunch of other stuff. So.
All right, so look right at that camera, Gianna. You got to tell those people. Look right at them and tell them exactly. They already got the no. You got to forgive them because they probably already have their hands in their pants. But we'll keep it, PC. Tell them once again. Where can they get? I mean, tell them.
You could join my site, GiannaXXX.com. Follow me on Twitter @TheRealGianna, and I'll keep you posted on everything that I'm doing. I have not worked for production companies, obviously, in the past 5 years. But I can't say that I would never. You know what I mean?
Well, now you actually are on the business side of it now.
Correct.
Okay. Now,
Correct.
Would you want to let everybody know what company you work for, or do you want to keep that under wraps?
No. Obviously, myself and my site, like I was saying, and then additionally, I'm working on an agency project with a couple of other people. It's Silvaria.com. You could check it out. And everything's getting started with that right now. It's becoming full circle, and I'm very excited for what everything that is to come in the new year. 2015.
Well, it's right on top of us.
Are you guys ready?
I am.
2015 is right on top of us. And speaking of which, now, Layla, how many years have you been in the business? This is your first. You're within your first 2 years, correct?
It'll be 2 years coming up in December 2012. I shot my very first scene December 2012. And then I took a month break, and I came back in January, and I started shooting full time.
Why'd you take a break? All that dick, huh?
Well, it's funny. I only shot one scene, and it was a girl scene.
Oh,
but
shit.
I was living in Baltimore at the time, and long story short, I got a call from an agent to come shoot in LA. I only got one scene, unfortunately. And then I went back to Baltimore, got all my stuff, sold my house, and moved out here full time, and I started shooting.
Well,
So I jumped right in the industry.
Yeah, you weren't joking.
Well, once with that relocation, you kind of said to yourself, you're going to just make it happen.
I'm just going to make it happen. I knew once I shot that scene, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I want to pursue, and I'm going to give it all 110%.
Now, Gianna, how did you actually get started?
Man, that was so long, I don't even remember.
We all remember. I mean, like what happened? Did you have a boyfriend that was
No.
involved in it or something?
No.
Did you answer an advertisement somewhere?
I moved out to Los Angeles when I was 18, and I was walking home from work from my 9 to 5 in the fucking 110-degree weather,
Here in
Los
the
Angeles
valley?
Valley, in the San Fernando Valley. And then, you know what? An agent kept on approaching me as I was walking home, and he asked me if I wanted to do some modeling, and then
the proverbial.
exactly.
Okay.
And then I declined, but then a year later, I ran into the same agent,
Yeah.
and he said, "You're still walking? You sure you don't want to get a car?"
Wow. Well, hey, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He low. He came in with the low blow, but
Yeah.
that's game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want a car."
All right. So let me ask you, because I know all the agents personally. Probably around the time you started, who was the agent, or what agency was it?
I don't even think it was an agency at that time. It was actually Thomas Hope. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Black guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember him very well. Yeah, he actually.
I remember him too.
I've actually, casted a few of the ladies that he's represented.
I actually
over the
think
years.
that he casted me for, or you had worked with him in regards to booking
Yeah.
me. So yeah, a very long time
Yeah,
ago, like I said.
it wasn't that long ago. How many years have you been in the business?
Since like 04.
Okay, so now 04, and you're like 2013,
Yeah.
give or take.
2013.
Okay, so let's go right into it. I mean, ladies, so we're almost looking at two generational in terms of, your association industry over 10 years at this point. Maybe not in all those years in front of the camera, but associated.
Correct.
You're within your first 2 years. Mm-hmm. Now, did you watch porno before you started?
I did.
So have you ever seen Gianna perform as Gianna Michaels?
I think I did see one video of you perform before I got in the industry. I think it was the Bang Bus one. Like
Oh,
you
right
picked
on.
up a bunch of guys and off the street. I thought it was really cool.
Now, okay, when you saw that, did you think it was real?
I
'Cause
did think it was real.
Yeah, because all the Bang Bros, remember when the Bang Brothers first came out? That shit was like, it was unseen before, and it was almost, I know I was full. I was like, man, I've been producing and directing for a number of years now. How the hell are they pulling that off? So they did the whole thing when you were in Miami when you shot it? Mm-hmm. What about yourself? Were you ever shot for them?
I have shot for them. I
Did
shot
you do
for
the
them.
bus thing?
I never did the bus. I
Okay.
did Ass Parade. I did Mr. Anal. I did Monsters of Cock, and I did Pog.
Okay, so we know what Monsters of Cock is, right?
Oh yeah.
But explain for the people, the uninformed, or Gianna, you explain what the POG is.
She could definitely explain and show them.
All right,
Alrighty, well, I'll show you what a Pog is.
little people. I hope that
For all
you
that are not
are ready
watching
for
right
this.
now.
Wait, oh my God!
Bam, bam, bam.
All right, I gotta ask my program director Sam. Is that okay? Are we all right with that? We're all right with that. Good enough. Good enough. So POG stands literally, pejoratively,
It's
fat
Ass white girl.
All right, so people, we know what that means, and of course, being Lexington Steele that I am, I have some familiarity with that particular definition. Mm-hmm. So I think that Layla definitely fits it. So if you want to speak to either of the ladies, give us a call 818-570-5885. Now I'm going to ask both of you this, and then we're going to go into a little bit more serious direction here. Now, Gianna, you stopped performing how long ago?
Probably about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, was that long?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I people ask me all the time, like, who are some of your favorite, ladies I've worked with, and you're one of the people I always mention, and they're like, why did she stop? Why did she retire? And I was like, well, people expect us to stay in this forever. Mm-hmm. What they don't know is at a certain point we make our own decisions to move in different directions. So, between the both of you, like I said earlier, spanning different generations, if you will, have you found that there are certain things happening? Number one, that merit a bi-monthly test, and are you comfortable with the environment as it's changed over the years and as it's changed since you've been in?
I mean, the bi-monthly testing, that's something new, because when I got in, it was 30-day testing, and they only tested for HIV, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. And now they test for everything, and it's bi-monthly.
Right.
I'm okay with it, just to be safe. I mean, there's times where it can be kind of a pain in the ass. Like, let's say there's like a slow month.
Right.
There's a month where I only get like 2 or 3 shoots. But then there's some months where I get 10 shoots. But, I do it anyways because I want to be safe. I want to keep everybody safe. I want to keep myself safe, my co-stars safe. I just, I want everybody to be comfortable. So, I mean, it can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but, it's safety first.
Well, in your case, I mean, you've actually seen a number of instances where we've had work stoppages. Now,
oh, yeah.
Now, Gianna, over the course of your career and subsequent to your career, have you seen anything that has drawn your attention as far as, the direction of the industry in terms of the health concerns?
Well, I don't recall there ever being a moratorium or anything to that effect while I was performing within the industry. But
what about Darren?
No,
you came in after the Darren
that.
James.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was kind of there after that, and then before a lot of the more recent moratoriums have come into play, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right word is, but it definitely obviously concerns me. I know a lot of people that still perform and everything to that effect, and I'm sometimes worried for them or whatever. I don't know.
Well, the thing is a lot of people have asked me directly, what's going on within the industry, and what I tell people is like, well, look, I mean, we're testing twice a month. So, when a matter of fact, what's happening is, when you see these instances of work stoppages. Now, many people may ask, well, what is a work stoppage? That is when we are in a moratorium, in which all production ceases. Now, literally, I shit you guys not. Last week, or the last time we had it, about a week and a half ago.
It was a couple weeks ago.
Right? Maybe 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Walking out of my house, had a 1 o'clock call time for my own production. Leaving the house about 11:30. Right? My co-producer, co-director gives me a call on my cell phone. He says, Lex, stay home. Literally, a phone call came in from the Evil Angel lawyers and said, look, if you guys got any of your directors in the field shooting, shut it down right now. So we had a work stoppage. It kind of messes with one's production schedule. But long story short, it's actually showing that the system is working.
It is working.
You know what I'm saying? Because what we're seeing happening is the management of the health by way of keeping individuals out. Maybe within the first time they test, we realize that they maybe have health concerns that they should keep outside the industry. So I actually think it's been collectively it's been a positive thing. Although we've seen a lot of courtroom battles going on in regards to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've seen it and heard it. Like I said, safety first is always a plus. And it does bother me a little bit. Like, I've had friends, I still have friends that are outside the industry, like all my hometown friends back in Baltimore. They hear about it and they're like, dude, you need to get out. They want me to get out of it because they're worried about my health. And, the way I see it, it's like the testing system's working. So, I think everything should be fine. It's crazy.
Well, I got to ask you guys this. There's a lot of stuff happening. You guys probably know this factually. I mean, and I don't know if this is a trend that's new within the last few years, but it seems to be that a lot of male performers are doing things in their personal lives, but yet professionally, that may cause a bit of the raising of an eyebrow. Mm-hmm. Have you ever found that there's guys that what their personal practices are, where either of you said, hey, you know what, I'm going to pass on that guy? Has that ever happened?
To my knowledge, no, that's never happened. I mean, I have worked with guys that performed in both gay and straight porn. I have worked with crossover guys in my career, and it doesn't bother me at all. Like, as long as their test is clean, their test is clean. But then the thing is, but people have said to me, like, I've had other fellow female performers tell me, "Are you crazy? You're working with so and so."
Yeah, we're not gonna. We
No,
don't
no,
throw
no.
anybody under the bus.
I
We could.
I don't mention names. No, I prefer not to mention.
I do,
names.
but I won't.
You're straight to the point.
No, I'm not gonna mention any names.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, I've had several female performers said to me, and these girls are actually friends of mine, and they would say to me, like, "Are you crazy? Why are you working with so and so?" And here's what I tell them. Here's the thing. You don't know who does what behind closed doors. You know, every performer, you know, it's like if I work with you or I work with you, you don't know what I did the night before.
Right.
I don't know what you've done the night before, and I don't know what you're going to do afterward, and you know what I'm going to do afterward. So just because a male performer has done crossover work in his past doesn't mean he does it off camera. It could mean he does stuff off camera, but at the same time it doesn't. You don't know what people do in their personal lives. So, you know, the way I see it, you know, as long as everybody's tested and, you know, is tested, then we should be fine, you know.
Well, what about you, John? I mean, had you ever come across guys you were like, he's not on my list?
Towards the end of when I had stopped performing and things to that effect, I think it became a concern of mine because it started to be a big hype. Like the same thing that you're saying, your girlfriends would be like, you know, you shouldn't work with him because this, or, you know, I've heard a lot of I've heard.
Right.
And, you know, I've heard that on the other side, I don't know what to say. Like, okay, on the gay porn side, like
Right.
they don't necessarily all test, or they don't
Well, over
do
there,
this,
the
or-
assumption that everybody is positive, so this is a condom mandatory thing, but which is very, as my understanding is, it's not always carried out condom mandatory.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. It was a lot of she said this, or you know, somebody heard this and
Right.
stuff. So I became very wary in regards to like, holy shit, what's going on? You know what I mean? Is that true? I didn't really know any performers that were doing gay pornography, and I didn't know who to ask, or I didn't know. So it kind of was just like you know, when wildfire starts in your head, and
Yeah.
you're just kind of
Right.
like, should I be scared? What's going on? Like, you know what I mean? But then
Well, you know, quite honestly, people, as we enter into this discussion, truth be told, there's been a lot of offering of a myriad of reasoning as to why there's been a number of work stoppages. And bottom line is that the test system is working. As a point of clarification, I want to bring that up because there are a lot of misconceptions as to why there are work stoppages. I mean,
Right.
we don't know, like Layla said, that we don't know what these people do. And this is something that may have been evident or present from the beginning of adult media. I don't know. But I know as I move, believe it or not, I mean, what is it, 2015, coming up on.
yeah.
I move into my 16th year. No, actually it would be my 17th year, 2015. I came in January of 98. So I'm actually, that'll be my 17th year.
You're a
So-
veteran.
Yeah, no, I'm like the fucking, ancient, the ancient man in the sea. That's an old
Fucking
book.
big unicorn.
The old- yeah. No, yeah, I know, right? Oh my God, man, I'm telling you.
I do want to clarify though, like I don't really, in regard to going back to like with the performing and the different things and stuff like that. People that do gay pornography, I don't. To each his own, and things
Yeah.
to that effect. And I don't know, like I said, in regard to the testing policies and things to that effect. So I'm not one to speak on it. And it was just me simply stating that it was all a lot of he said, she said.
Yeah.
And there was a
As
time where I
always.
stopped performing
Yeah.
with certain people that, again, like, they'd pull up and they'd say, oh, this or whatever. Like, you could see it for yourself that they had done gay pornography. But I don't care. I don't judge
Yeah,
them. But it
right.
did make me kind of like,
What are you doing on this
what's
side?
up?
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna take this call coming in because I want to ask you guys another question.
Oh, I wonder.
What's going on? What's going on? Lex Live here with Gianna Michaels and Layla Price. Talk to us, caller.
Hey, what's up, Lex? This is Reg.
Reggie.
To show support, I tweeted earlier, and you have two beautiful ladies on the air tonight.
What's going on, big man?
Hey, staying busy, trying to get fit and everything, and just staying productive. And I'm a fan of Gianna Michaels' work, and also Layla Price. And I've seen Gianna in a lot of mainstream work, and I know she does some cool dancing and sexy moves on the road and everything. So I follow both of them on Twitter.
So now, any questions for either of these ladies, or do the ladies have questions for Reggie, who is a fan, is very familiar with both of you all's work?
Well, Reggie, I'd like to thank you for being a fan of mine and keep supporting me. I love all my fans and I appreciate them, especially ones like yourself. So what's been your favorite scene of me so far?
Oh my gosh, that's all I call it.
Put him on the spot.
Recall, because anytime where you're, I guess, with a guy, just really giving it your all in your scenes.
Now moving this
Layla.
along, Reggie, have you ever seen Layla in an anal scene?
Yes.
He's a true
Amazing.
fan.
She's got a nice, she has a nice ass, no question about it.
Do you prefer anal?
I prefer it over vag.
I was going to ask that because when I was looking at a lot of I was telling you I was reading through some of your Twitter and stuff like that recently, and there's a lot of stuff with you
Well, I enjoy anal sex. I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
anal. I do prefer it over vag. It just depends on how well the guy does it. It's all about how the guy does it. If the guy is really good at anal, it's all about how you use it.
Yeah.
Because the anal is different than the vagina. It's a different muscle.
Reggie, do you like anal sex, Reggie? I mean, do you have anal sex with your female counterpart?
Hey, I definitely do that, so yeah, I'm a fan.
Now, Gianna, you don't do anal, Gianna, right?
Oh, I did an anal video.
Did we ever?
No, we
about us?
didn't.
Oh, man. I'm saying I'm going through mental
dick
cobwebs.
motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. You know what's up. Man, shit.
And I know what's up and not what's up my butt.
Hey, Reggie, these women over here got me blushing, see what I'm saying? But only you and I would ever know it, right?
They're pretty hot ladies. And Gianna, like I said, are you planning on doing any more mainstream work, or are you just dancing? Or
I'm open to everything at this point. I'm not saying, I would not object to another mainstream role, definitely.
All right, Reggie, any
and
more
like I
before
said,
we get out
you're
of here?
definitely legendary yourself, as always. Your scenes, I enjoyed them over the years and still do. So.
Right on. Thank you for the love.
You're welcome.
All right,
Hey,
cool, man.
All right, good night.
Take care, Reggie.
Hi, Reggie.
So, all right, before we get any further, I want to ask you guys this. And people, feel free to give a call, just like our last call at 818-570-5085. That's 818-570-5085. And we're here every Monday night on latalkradio.com. A lot of people like myself, I'm a regular guy, okay? I grew up watching porno since I was 13. When I see women like you, like both of you on a regular basis, I mean, you guys are very unique, and I mean, there's not many hot women like these two ladies around. I mean, this is Los
Stop it.
Angeles.
You tell all the girls.
I feel special right now.
You know, I got my game going, I got my Mac mode going on. But what I want to know is, when did the sexuality that you employ and that you have employed, is that something that came about as when you step into the performer that is Layla Price, or the performer that is Gianna Michaels? Is it something that was created when you created your superhero agenda, or was that something that was within you? Because I know I grew up wanting to have a lot of sex. I just didn't have a way to do it other than with myself, which was always available.
Well, with me, I've always been a sexual nympho my whole life. I've always
Admittedly, a nympho, as a nymphomaniac, nymphomania.
I've always been a nympho. I mean, that's one of the main reasons. That was like the main reason why I got into porn, because I loved having sex so much. I consider myself a full-blown sex addict because I love it. It's like a high for me.
Wow.
It's like an ultimate high for me when I get off. It's just incredible, I mean, and regularly I I masturbate, I watch my scenes, I watch other people's scenes, but before I got in the business, I had all these fantasies. I wanted to like try anal, I wanted to try double penetration, gangbangs, I wanted to do all this crazy shit. But the problem was I couldn't really find any guy or multiple guys that were down to do it.
In the Baltimore, in the B-more?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that cats in the B-more weren't, like hitting Layla Price up like.
Because 9 out of 10 of them were pussies. Let me tell you something.
Man.
Let me tell you something.
What about the fans of The Wire? Now you just ruined everything for.
I'm playing. Well,
okay.
no,
you're not. You keeping it real.
Yeah.
That's all good.
But no, on serious note, I mean, I loved sex. I had sex with a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie, and I swear, only 1 out of 10 guys actually got me off.
Well, how old were you when you started?
I was 16 when I lost my virginity, so I started fairly late.
Is it I mean, what is the age that girls around your demographic? What is the typical age that they started having sex?
Well, me growing up, it was 12, 13.
12, 13, and Gianna for yourself. You guys, I mean, how old are you, Gianna, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 31.
Okay, so when did you, if you don't mind me asking, and people, I'm asking for myself, but, when did you start having sex? Like, when was your first time?
I lost my virginity when I was 18.
Okay, I was 17, my first time. So for my generation, because I'm older than both of you by about 10, well, certainly Gianna by about, not well over 10, but 10 plus. And then, I mean, Layla, I could be I'm like down with your father and shit.
My dad's 61,
well,
so you're
I was exaggerating with, you know what I'm saying?
No,
but okay.
Just kidding.
So no, when I was a kid, I mean, that was like 17, 16 for guys, and girls maybe 15, 16. I mean, does it seem like women? It seems to me that women are getting more familiar or are familiar with great sex a lot sooner than even college age.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, when I was 16, I lost my virginity, and I was like the last one in my group of friends that lost it, because all my other girlfriends, they started like 12, 13, and I was like kind of scared. I'm like, what the hell? I felt like I still felt like a little kid, And then I felt kind of left out of the group because I started so late, and all my girlfriends would talk about like their boyfriends did this to them, their boyfriends did that to them in the bedroom, and I just wouldn't have anything to say at the time.
Well, now, Gianna, you didn't escape the question, which I would love for you to participate in, as to when and how did you discover your sexuality? Was it something you brought with you onto the screen? Did something developed once you got on the screen, or were you Gianna's a monster, people. Let me just say that, some of the work we've done is historic in that there are very, very few women who are as demonstrative as the guy in a scene. And so I enjoy working together, and history will prove that some of our stuff has been the best interracial that's ever been shot. So is your skill set something that developed once you got on camera, or it was already within you?
Man, I was only with 2 people before getting
No way!
And then I was not in a relationship, and I have not been in a relationship during the time frame of being involved with the industry. So I was kind of boyfriend and girlfriend with the industry, and I learned my sexualty, and
so the industry brought it out, or out it blossomed.
Yeah.
You only told me there was only 2 men in your experience before you got
I had never given a blowjob. I had tried to give a blowjob, and I was so fucking nervous, and I didn't know what to do, and I was so nervous, I didn't know what the fuck to do with it. I was like,
All right, okay.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Why aren't you getting hard? What am I supposed to do with you?
So along those lines, and what would you, Gianna, what would you tell the viewers out there, the women that maybe are nervous about sex, certain things like a blowjob? How would you instruct them, or what would you tell them in terms of raising their comfort level with their sexuality?
You know what? Just be you. Just be you. Just go through it all. Everybody goes through it. Same thing you're saying. In the same way. Also.
So you're saying just kind of let go in the moment. Just go with what comes natural.
Be you. What comes natural. And it's like, I'm sure you. That might sound wrong. You've been with a lot of people. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
I guess that was the only thing I was leaning towards. Everybody's
I've
different.
been with a lot of women.
No, I
mean, as a point of clarification.
Okay.
Certainly enough by way of illustration. Look at that story.
Let me try this again. Okay. So you've slept with a lot of women.
Right. I didn't.
They're all
I
different.
trust. There was not a lot of sleeping going on. I tell you, a lot of sleeping going on afterwards. There's a lot of sleeping going on.
Right?
No, when I put them to bed. See what I'm saying? I'm the type of brother where you roll back over about an hour, 2 hours later, I'm sitting there like, hey now. You ever have sex, right? And then you guys fall asleep, and then you wake up, and the guy's just like looking at you like it's like scary. She's like, what the fuck? How long have you been looking at me? Has that ever happened?
I've woken up where guys would have their dick in me already. Like they'd be hard as a rock.
That's how they woke you up?
They would wake me up. They wake up and I wake up like, what the hell's in me? Oh, hello, honey.
So they didn't want to even wait until you woke up. No doubt. What about you, John?
Yes, definitely have woken up to a couple
That's
of
the best
those.
way to wake up.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely puts a smile on your face.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
My point was, since you completely went on a different direction after that, is that everybody's different. And to any woman or any man or whatever, just be yourself.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you're going to be different with different people and just enjoy every moment of it.
You guys make another call?
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Good evening. This is Lex Steele on the Lex Steele Live Show. Talk to us, caller. Yes, caller. How are you? This is with Lex Steele and Gianna Michaels and Layla Price. Talk to us, caller.
We're talking to a duck. Doesn't it sound like a duck?
Sounds Affleck. Affleck. You want to,
Okay, we're going to let that one go. I don't know what happened there.
Affleck.
I don't know. We lost that one, but
Call
we'll
back
get the next
again.
one.
Call
Hopefully
back
they'll call
Affleck.
back again.
The Affleck duck.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was like his radio going in the background or
Yeah,
something. Who knows?
might have been.
So now, Layla, do you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend? What's your situation? If you don't mind us asking here on the Lex Live Show.
So far, I'm currently single.
Yeah. You say that hesitantly. Should you be like, well, no, I mean, if you don't have a boyfriend, do you have a girlfriend?
Nope.
Now, do you like women in your personal life?
I do like women in my personal life.
So when did you discover that you were bisexual?
I think when I was in high school, when I was in high school, like, I remember I would sleep over at my girlfriend's house, and we'd have, like, slumber parties, and, we'd we'd like, show each other's tits, like, just compare who had the nicest boobs and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's when I discovered I liked girls. However, before I got into porn, I've only been with, like, 2, maybe 3 women. It was just kind of hard for me to get girls because I was kind of shy around girls at first. But, I love it. I remember I had a threesome with 2 of my girlfriends, and we were at my friend Megan's house. This was like years ago.
You okay over there, Lex?
I'm right.
He's loving it. He's like, where was I?
I'm gonna move back to Baltimore. I'm gonna move to Baltimore.
He's like, where
man.
was I with all these horny girls? But yeah.
Who's Megan?
Yeah, it was me, my friend Megan, and
what's Megan doing now? You call her up.
Oh, I don't know where she's been. I haven't talked to her in a while. But yeah,
Right.
it was my friend Megan. I met her at the strip club I was working at.
Oh, no doubt.
And then there's this other girl. I think her name was Candy or Candace. I can't remember her name. That was one of her names. And she was another girl I knew from a strip club. And we all hung out, and we were all like doing some crazy stuff.
Right.
Not sex related, but
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Some recreational activities which shall remain nameless.
absolutely.
Best way to put it.
So
right?
yeah, I remember we were all like feeling really good.
Yeah.
The vibe was going good, and then we decided to get naked and eat each other out. We had a little girl train going on, and then Megan's boyfriend walks in on us. He's like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And we were like, "Oh, come join us, come join us." And he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
Oh man. So I bet he's regretting
Intimidated.
that.
I bet he is.
Was he intimidated? Was that the?
I think he was just really intimidated because there have been, like, I've had boyfriends where, like, I'd be down to do a threesome with a girl. Like, we've talked about a threesome with a girl or with, like, one of his friends. And I've done one threesome with a guy and a girl. And then I did another threesome with my boyfriend and one of his best friends. But, yeah, but most guys have been intimidated being with another girl. Me being with another girl with somebody else. So I think it was
Wow.
just intimidation.
And he didn't want to watch or anything. He just was like.
I think he just. I think it's something that he never did. I think he never witnessed it unless it was on a porn screen. But he never witnessed it like in the flesh. I think he was just like blown away by it. I think that's what it was.
Gotcha.
Well, now, Gianna, given what you have put down in your career in front of the camera, when you are meeting your friends in your personal life, do you ever find that they are? Do they find that are they intimidated in those circumstances, or and how do you help guys through intimidation? Because a lot of guys out there would say to themselves, they would love to have an experience with a woman like yourself, but in the moment of truth, there might be some technical difficulties. How do you relax? How do you encourage men to react in situations where they may find themselves intimidated?
You know what? My personal sex life right now is kind of non-existent, but let's say, for instance, in a situation like that, if I was
if it
with
was
somebody,
if it just happened, I'm gonna be knocking at Gianna's door at about 12:05, and saying about 12:10, like, yo, you said earlier, allow me to.
Well, I guess I could say like the situations that I've been in have kind of just flown well, or that
so you've been
sound
lucky,
right? But you know what I mean.
But you know what we're talking about. I mean, like, what would you say to a guy if a guy was having struggles? Like, how would you, would you massage his shoulders, or would you just whisper sweet nothing?
What the fuck, you little pussy? You get your dick hard?
Okay, well
fucking
then
little dick fucking motherfucker.
Okay, well then that guarantee. Fucking Houston, we have Houston, we have a problem. I'm going down.
I'm just joking. I'm completely
Bombardier,
joking.
I'm going down. Going down.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, that'd be dead in the grave, not coming back up again.
I'm
but
melting. I know.
I'm just joking. I'm actually not like that.
Literally, you know what?
I'm
Just
not like
if
that.
you came at a dude like that, literally, I could just see like this penis is disintegrating down to the molecules and atoms.
And it's as flat as this table.
You see what I'm saying?
It's as flat as this table.
A molecular transmogrification has occurred.
I think you just chill out.
You know what I'm saying?
I think people get too caught up in the moment when
Right.
things like that happen, and you get too excited, and like you like I feel like it's like one of those you're trying too hard, and like oh shit, and then when you start thinking about it too much as a guy, I don't know, maybe you could help expand on this also. Maybe when you think about it, it kind of fucks with your mind also. So just what I do is just you chill out.
Yeah.
You fucking take it down a notch. You know what I mean? Maybe not put so much focus to what's going on down there and get intimate. You know what I mean? Like take it up mentally.
It's the mental,
or
which
to
is the strongest organ is the mental.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In these circumstances, and what I'm getting from what you're explaining is that perhaps if a guy was to relax, even in the tense and intense moment that is, if they can find a sense of tranquility with the knowledge that it can progress to that hyper, speed, warp speed, it can progress to that. And a lot of guys think they got to come in, whip it out, see what I'm saying, go right into fifth, fourth, and even fourth, fifth, and maybe sixth gear. Maybe they don't have to start out at that. Maybe they can, but ultimately we can work up to that mutually.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now, Layla, with the younger guys that you deal with, guys around your age, have you found that there's a loss of the intimacy with which Gianna spoke of?
I feel like every guy is different regardless of age. I've worked with a number of guys. I've worked with guys that are your age, Lex. I've worked with guys that were a little bit younger than me. And even like before I got in, I've been with a, number of guys, and I don't think age really matters. I think it just depends on what the guy's into.
No, I'm not talking about porno dudes.
Oh no, I'm talking about regular guys.
Regular guys, as far as like, because the thing is as we know, what we do on screen, a lot of people seek to emulate, male and female. So a lot of guys that are watching porno want to treat their female counterparts the same way. It's like come in with a raging hard on, no intimacy, right to the action.
Right.
And it doesn't really play out like that in real life.
Oh no, it doesn't. I mean, but what I was saying is I was talking about like guys in general, like my experiences. Like I've dealt with guys, that were a little bit older. It just depends on the guy. Every guy's different. Some guys they can, get hard, no trouble, pound out. 5 minutes later, they're done. Some guys like to go longer, and they're more like romantic and intimate. And some guys, they just like role playing and foreplay first, and then last for a long time. So I think every guy's different in my experiences. But I don't think age has anything to do with it. I just think it has to do with like what the guy's into.
Oh, yes.
I agree.
Absolutely.
No
Or
doubt.
even just like you vibe different with different people.
Oh yeah, absolutely too.
Yeah, no. Yeah, depending on the circumstances. There's so many variables that go into what can make for a wonderful experience. And what's been your best experience, both of you ladies? In terms of dates, I was talking to a girl the other day in a meeting I was at, and she was a little bit younger than us. She was saying that, guys buying a girl a drink, guys want to buy girls multiple drinks to show that they can spend money on a chick. What are some of the things that you've seen that
I thought
men
that was
are...
just because they thought they were going to get some pussy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's
asking.
what I thought, too.
I'm trying to get to the bottom of what are some of the things that you guys have seen come at you? Like Gianna, when you go out in public, right? You're out with your friends, right? And you're at a bar, what have you, having a drink. What are some of the things you hear from dudes? Some that are successful, some that are not.
Nothing good, man. I have a question for the women out there. Is it just adult stars and stuff like that? Like when you go into a club or you're at a bar, or you're not even a bar, okay, church, whatever, you know what I mean? Like you meet a guy and everything like that. He takes you out to dinner. Like they always want to fuck on the first night? They always try? Is it? Or even Lex, when you take somebody out on a date, even better. Take somebody out on a date. Do you expect sex?
No, no. Me personally, I don't, only because I don't feel like rushing it. If it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down. Now, if it's supposed to go down on the first date, the first time out, then it goes down. If it doesn't, it matters not. As long as you're making progress to whatever your goal is. And if your ultimate goal is to fuck, you know what I'm saying. But if you want to just fuck, then you can move it forward and see what happens with that.
Gotcha.
It all depends. I mean,
Well said. Depends on what your goal
Yeah.
is
What your goal
ultimately,
is.
and both for men and women. So,
But
not
you
just
know what, though?
specifically putting that on.
Okay, but
men.
even on this show, a number of episodes ago, we had a discussion with ladies, and a lot of them were saying that, my Michelle G and another one of the guests were saying that nowadays girls just want to find out, why waste time on a second date. They want to find out whether or not they're gonna fuck this guy more than once. They might as well just cut right to the chase.
Damn.
And maybe it's a situation where women are thinking like dudes.
It's exactly what you said. I guess it's just what your ultimate goal is.
Right.
And
Okay. You want most
for men, for women.
Well, say, is it
also,
changing?
or on that particular night, or whenever.
Yeah.
Or just in general.
All right. So we're gonna take this call coming. Let's see what's up. Hello, caller. This is Lex Steele on Lexington Steele Live. Talk to us.
Hey, Lex Steele.
What's
How
up,
are you?
caller?
Yeah, my name is Omar, and I just had some questions about the industry. Just about how technology and people refusing to pay actresses any kind of money, and people don't want to pay for porn. I just think it's a fascinating thing to talk about because I work in technology, and I'm thinking about creating a company to help models and actors make more money. But I'm just really curious about the dynamics from inside point of view.
What do you think, Gianna? Now, Gianna just has your site, Gianna Michaels, XXX.
No, it's just GiannaXXX.com. Yeah. I think that would be a great thing. What have you come up with thus far in regards to making that happen?
Okay, so I just turned off Monday Night Football. I'm really just going to break it down for you. I wasn't
Okay, now give us a short version of this, Omar. Give us a short version of this, real quick.
Sorry. Yeah, I will break it down for you. Okay. Basically, I want to take out all these middlemen who basically make the prices go up for the end consumer, which is me and
you know
millions
what?
of young.
I thought you
young
were going to
men.
say trying to figure out how to get people to stop, like, stealing it or something to that effect. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
that could
okay.
really help.
Unauthorized usage.
Let me start from that angle. That'd probably be better for your perspective. All right, so the best way is to change the cultural perceptions. I really think people think if you have sex on camera that it's kind of like, oh, why are we paying for this? I've posted some questions in forums, and that's the general response I get. So I really think that people have to view this as it can be an art form. A lot of people are complaining that the content is very repetitive. The girls aren't looking like they're into it, and some of the guys are just flat out scary. I mean, I don't think Lex is cool. That's why I saw your tweet. I'm like, yeah, this guy's not completely crazy. You know, he seems like a dude I'd probably watch football with, and he'd be cool. But
well, I'm
generally
probably
speaking,
most
though,
literally
people feel.
Dr.
Sorry to
Jekyll
cut you off.
Hyde.
So people feel ripped off, you know, and I want to change that. I want to help the fans have some input in the content creation process, and the models have more control over their careers. I really feel like there's too many middlemen, and the thing about technology is you can create a platform where you can cut out
Right.
old processes. That's the shortest version I can give you. So.
Okay. All right, caller, thanks very much. I'm going to let you go. We got a few more minutes to go here, but thanks very much.
Thank you, Omar.
Thank you.
Hello, caller. This is Lex Steele on Lexo Live with Gianna Michaels and Layla Price. Talk to us.
Hey, Lex, how you doing?
What's going on?
Just want to know how it was working with Nikki Binns in that new movie.
It was really good, but present company includes Gianna Michaels and Miss Layla Price. So why don't we keep it present company included here? So do you have anything for Gianna or Layla?
I mean, how was it working with Lexington Steele, ladies?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Cool. You just took the easiest way out. Thanks very much. All right, we're gonna try this one line. I think it's the same call. Hello, call. This is Lex Live. Talk to us.
Hi, this is Gianna.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Who's this?
I'm just calling you for saying, are you real, Gianna?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, look, caller. Do you have a question? Let's get it going. Let's talk to her. Talk to us, man.
Do you have a fucking
Sorry,
duck in the room with you?
Did you kidnap Affleck? Did you kidnap the Affleck?
Okay, we got rid of. Thanks very much,
I
caller.
love you.
I love
Gianna.
you too. Mwah.
I'm calling you from Kyrgyzstan. You know that country?
Nope. I probably sound really stupid
caller,
right now.
what country is that?
Which country?
So you know in the Kyrgyzstan. We love you.
Well, I love you
Okay.
guys as well.
Thanks
Thank you.
very much, caller. All right, now one of the things that the previous caller before last had been saying in regards to technology, the unauthorized use, the pirating of adult media, the problem, or what has become most difficult in the consideration of the problem, is that adult media falls in line with whether it's music or mainstream movies and television. You know, a number of years back when people began to pirate mainstream media and then found ways to not pay for that. I mean, what was it? We've seen a number of different outlets where people were pirating and unauthorized usage. Well, that's what's happening with adults. So the generations that came in and were introduced to adult media were not paying for their music or the movies. They were downloading that for free. So then when it came time for their porno, they were unaccustomed to having paid for it. Now, there's many people that might be 18, 19 years and younger that literally have never paid for their music or their movie downloads. And so why would they, of course, think it necessary to pay for their adult media? So that is one of the things that, as a movie producer, that I have to overcome. And my challenge is, how do you convince, or how do you transition a generation that's never paid for the media and convince them that it is indeed something that is a viable commodity from which they have to, or for which they have to pay for. So it's really a different change in the mindset, which I don't know will occur. And of course, now, John, as you're presenting your website, how long has your website been up?
For the past 2 years.
Okay, so you're 2 years in. Okay. So have you seen original content that you have on your site? Have you found it
Yes.
other places?
Yes.
And so what do you do in particular to combat that?
That's kind of why I was asking the gentleman kind of the direction he was going with that.
Yeah.
I've spoken to lawyers and things to that effect, but I have not necessarily gone full force in regards to rectifying that at this time.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what my options are, or things to that
Well,
effect
there's a
in regards
number
to
of,
stopping
I tell you,
that
but
from
you've already got
happening.
lawyers that the cease and desist notes, right? They get them, they put them in the garbage, they delete them. Okay, so and I thought this is all like, believe me, I'm telling you something. When you see your content on the tube sites, and there's a .com on the your scene of which you don't have any affiliation with. I saw one called lexmaster.com, and I have no website called lexmaster.com, right? See what I'm saying? They have my content on there, but the thing is that it's very expensive to pay the lawyers, and then you almost feel like you're just knocking your head against the wall, right? But the problem is we have to consider it to some degree, to some percentage, as most of it is 100% loss, but to some percentage of it has to be considered free promotion. All right, because bearing in mind, most of the clips that we see are maybe a third or a quarter of the full scene. So if you see a 12-minute scene, a 12-minute clip, the whole scene may have been 32, 34 minutes. So you're like, okay, well, damn, they got a freebie on that one. But ideally, someone will go and pay for the whole thing, or they'll know where to go
because they've seen
from there. Yeah, and they'll have an interest.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's like it's good, but it's bad. It's bad, but it's good at the same time.
You gotta look at It's kind of like half full, half empty.
Right, absolutely. Like I've seen a lot of my scenes have been pirated, but they're like little clips. They'd be like 2-minute clips, 5-minute clips, sometimes 10-minute clips. I mean, so I'd be pissed, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, hopefully somebody will pay for the full scene.
Now, have you begun your website? Do you have plans to build one, or?
I was gonna build a website about a year ago. I was working on it, but then I had a falling out with my webmaster, and I'm not in a rush right now.
Right.
I'm either gonna do a clips for sale store, or I'm gonna just do my own website. I just gotta find a webmaster that I can trust and not get scred. So.
Well, no, that's and that is one of the things.
for the site, huh?
Right? Absolutely.
There was a time when within this industry, as an enterprise, the majority of the lion's share of the revenues generated were being paid to the studios and the producers, and the town, of course, to some end. But what's happening principally, the revenues are in large part going to the technicians, the webmasters, and the people that drive traffic, the affiliates, if you will. Those are people that really are making the most money in this industry. And I don't know. I mean, what can we do, people? Should we have sex standing on our heads? That's already been tried. I don't know if there's an introduction of any new holes or orifices that we can explore. And
there is one question I wanted to ask Omar. I kind of wish I would have said this, but I'm curious to know.
He's on Twitter, he was saying.
Oh, okay.
He might get back at us.
Okay. Well, what I was wanting to ask him was, because he said he heard from people that the content's really repetitive. I'm trying to figure out what content he or some of the people that he's seen is repetitive, because maybe certain studios shoot the same thing, but every studio I've worked for has been different. Like, I've worked for Evil Angel a number of times. I worked for like half of the directors, and everybody's different. Like, I worked for Jason 3 times last month and the month before, and his content's like one of a kind.
Question. Was that whipped cream or shaving cream?
It was whipped cream coming out of that girl's ass. It was fucking hot. It was Christmas.
Oh, it was a... Gotcha.
I was an elf. The girl was my present, and she had a big booty full of whipped cream. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
So wait, I'm sorry, I just got to ask. So what, did she push it out with a scat type of video?
Yeah, what we did was it was for his line Cream Dreams 3. That's actually coming out.
What?
It's called Cream Dreams 3. The trailer.
The
trailer just got released, and I love it. It looked really great. Me and her both looked great. Everybody in that video looked fantastic.
So what'd you do?
Well, I was a little elf, and she was my Christmas present. So we take whipped cream, and we're teasing on each other. We spray it on each other's bodies, getting really intimate, and then we stick the whipped cream can in our asses, push it, and then we push it out into each other's mouths, our butts. We were rubbing our butts together with the whipped cream. It was, I had a blast. It was fun. But what I was saying is his content is like one of a kind.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know of anybody else that does stuff the way he does it. And then, of course, there's yourself. You showcase the ladies.
Yeah.
You showcase the ladies, and then there's Mike Adriano. His is all POV, And then there's Mark Wood, Francesca Lay. They usually do like 3 ways. Sometimes it's just Mark. Sometimes it's Francesca. And then there's Glenn, who's got the face-sitting femdom stuff. So my point is, everybody shoots different stuff. So I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about, how the content's real repetitive. Maybe some of the more softer companies could be, but everybody that I've shot for, everyone's different. So I'm just trying to figure out who he was talking about, who he was referencing to.
Well,
Omar, get back to Layla.
Yes, please.
well, that's the thing about it, is that adult media is one of the enterprises in which you can be as original as you like, because there's no hard and rule. There's no hard and fast rule.
Oh yeah.
Pardon the pun, but no hard and fast rule as to how you have to put together a movie. You can put together any way you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So there is certainly a bit of creativity and originality that I think that maybe the caller is unaware of, as you said.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You can find anything you want.
Oh yeah, you can find anything you want. There's a ridiculous amount of fetishes. You could just type in clown porn, it'll show up. You could type in ass to mouth, show up. You can type in DP gangbang, that'll show up.
Yeah.
Everybody's one of a kind. Everybody has their own style. So.
Well, okay, I'll ask you both this before we get out of here. Gianna, when you are spending your time online, do you find that there's something that you search for online that would surprise people in terms of, if you're on an adult media site or any other type of site?
Oh, on an adult site?
Yeah. Just give us a little morsel of what, just when you're at home by yourself.
What would I look for?
If I just looked over your shoulder, if I went into your browser.
You know what?
Went into your history.
I'm not even going to lie. It's going to be the lesbian porn.
Wow, really? Are you bisexual?
I've never had a relationship with a woman or anything to that effect. I'm definitely attracted to women, but I don't know if I would be considered bisexual.
Okay. All right. And yourself, Layla?
What I've searched for, or if I'm bisexual?
No.
He's like,
if I looked over your shoulder when you were online, if I snuck up on you when you're at home and you're online, what would I find in front of you?
Probably either anal or blow bangs would be a tie.
Ooh. All right, now for the uninitiated, what exactly is a blowbang?
It's similar to a gangbang, except it's all just blowjobs. There may be some fucking involved, but it's mainly just blowjobs. It's like 5 or more guys around a girl, and she's blowing all of them.
Gangbang with your mouth.
Gangbanging my face, basically.
Yeah. Now, have either of you done a gangbang before?
I've never done a full-on gangbang. I've done airtight scenes, which is like 3 guys on 1 girl. But I've never done like a full-on gangbang.
Okay. And Gianna,
how many guys is necessary to be considered a gangbang?
Between, it could be anywhere between, now they're small mini gangbangs at 3 people, 3 guys.
Got you.
Maybe 5 guys and beyond.
I've done a mini gangbang then.
With
like 3 or 4 guys.
Okay.
Same thing that you're saying though. It was more like I feel like I banged them actually. Like it didn't feel like.
I felt the same way
mean?
too.
It wasn't like I don't know. When I hear the word gangbang, I'm thinking like, yeah,
See,
bitch,
remember that's
you're
what-
gonna fucking get.
I
this
think the
dick.
same
That's
way
what-
too.
that-
And then
Exactly.
another guy slapping you in the head with his dick and fucking all that. But mine
That's
went
what I
a
was
little
talking about.
different.
This is getting me. This is getting
Gianna's
me
like, let me
crazy.
tell you something. Gianna's over here playing it off like she's like, all like, she's Mrs. Gianna Michaels. This is Ms. Gianna Michaels. You are a beast. And you're playing it off there like trying to be all like on the low key. Let me tell you something. You should have
Go
an
ahead.
S on your chest. Well, no, I wouldn't want to put it on your chest. I don't want to block
want
it.
to put it on my
I would put it on
chest?
your back. I would, I don't want to cover anything up there, man. Like, John, you're like an X-Men. You got
It's
powers.
the same thing that you were asking earlier a question in regards to like when did your sexual was it before you got into the industry, was it then? So I feel like I'm a true to life Gemini, man, because that is who I am in my personal life. Is like I'm very like quiet, shy, everything like that, and then it's just like turn into a fucking different person when the camera comes on or something like that. And it may be the same for all of us. Like, I don't know, is it the same for you? Is it the same for you? Do you become that persona, or like, your fucking Layla Price. You know what I mean? Like when the camera comes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way off camera as I am
Are
on
you?
camera. I'm the
Okay.
same person. Whatever you see me
Got
do
you.
on camera, that's what I like off camera.
Same question to you.
No. Like early on in my career, this is before I came to LA. I was doing some work, some mainstream stuff, and I started doing movies in New York before I came to LA. And one of the guys told me, he said, "Look, I was having some mental problems performing," and he said, "Look, the thing you got to do is the person that does a scene is someone other than yourself." So he likened it to Clark Kent going to the phone booth and coming out as Superman.
Gotcha.
So that was the creation of the mentality, not the name Lexington Steele, but the mentality of the performer. And so when it does come time for that moment of truth, it is mentally going into a telephone booth, if you will, and then coming out as Lex Steele. And I do wear an S on my chest. And it ain't just for super. No.
But are
yeah,
you,
but yeah.
in your own personal life, are you that same?
No,
Do
because
you fucking go into the phone booth and put the S on?
No,
you know what
in
I
my
mean?
personal life, not at all. Because the thing is on film, we're dealing within the confines of a time period. See what I'm saying? You only need X amount of footage, so the actual occurrence is going to last for 20, 22 minutes, or 34, 35 minutes to get 22 minutes net. So I mean, that being said, when you're in your personal life, you can have an experience last for as long as you want. So I'm much more measured in terms of I'd rather have sex for have a 3-hour occasion of maybe fucking off and on over the course of 4 hours, as opposed to having one half an hour of knockdown, tear down sex. I'll leave that for camera. See what I'm saying? So it's just a notion of when people say, well, an orgasm lasts 5-10 seconds, right? So people say, do you care whether you come or not in your personal life? I don't care, because in my personal life, I'd rather fuck for an hour. I don't care if I come. I'd rather fuck for an hour and it just go on, whether instead of busting a nut in 5 minutes and then rolling over and going to sleep.
Right.
And it's over.
No, I agree with you. I'm the same exact way. I actually care more about my partner or partners. Like, I mean, I never really cared if I got off, as long as my guy or girl or whoever, as long as they got off, I was happy.
Yeah.
I was happy. I felt like, yes, I did my job.
Well, now, is that something that you find yourself, do you like to, to draw it out, or would you rather just get it done? Not get it done, but you know what I'm saying?
In my personal life?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to just get it done. I want it to be passionate. I want it to be mind-blowing. I want it to be like, and that's the same thing I was saying, like when you meet the people wherever you go in life and everything to that effect also, I think like you kind of know when you meet them, like, I don't know, like you vibe or you don't, and you're going to fuck them or you're not. And maybe even what the girl was telling you in a previous show is exactly how it is. Do I fuck him now? You know what I mean?
Or
to see if it's everything that I think it is.
Or either am I wasting my time?
Right. Like,
Right.
I mean, and that's a different perspective from guys, because I mean, guys just want to do it because they want to do it. See what I'm saying? They're not really thinking whether they're wasting their time or not, where women are actually weighing the value of their time, which is different. Guys, I mean, I know certain times.
okay, but in the same sense also, it's like if you were, let's say, not really caring to whatever, waste your time or not, but you were maybe feeling somebody and you're like, okay, I'll let this be. You get to know somebody and you become really good friends with them or whatever, and then you end up fucking and it's horrible.
Right.
What happens?
As a dude?
Yeah. As a dude.
You know what? I would actually, I don't know how many opportunities most guys afford their female counterparts. I would say maybe by the third time. There'd be a second time, and if the third time I was dissatisfied, I felt like it really wasn't happening, then we could still be friends, but I wouldn't pursue anything physical.
Trying to continue
Right.
to fuck them.
Yeah.
Got you.
Whereas most women, now it seems like a lot of women aren't. There are no second chances.
Do you give second chances?
Depending on the guy, how bad he was. If he was terrible, I'm just going to be like, okay, you're a sweetheart, but I'm not going to, no, I think we're good.
Do you just not call them back, or do you say that to them?
I just don't call them back because I don't want to be mean. I don't want to say it to their face because then they might get upset, or maybe they'll get super mad and
You might be like,
try to kill me.
Like we have like War Machine.
Be like,
oh, God.
All right, so look, not to cut you ladies off, but we are going to find our way off of the air tonight after a wonderful hour here in the Lex Live Show. So before we get out of here, we want to reiterate where we can find these wonderful ladies on social media. Layla, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Layla Price XOXO, and that's my only social account. No Facebook, no Instagram, just my Twitter. And once again, that's Layla Price XOXO.
And Miss Michael.
My Twitter is Gianna. Oh, I'm sorry. It's at The Real Gianna. And my site is giannaxxx.com.
Yeah,
That's where you can find me. Keep in touch.
You know what I'm saying?
Post everything there.
Yeah,
so
we're going to see
I'll
a
be
lot
in your
more.
city.
And your website, again, is Gianna.
XX.
GiannaXXX.com. Sounds like it'd be a wonderful studio, which I want to perform for in her first anal. That's an idea. Financiers, get at Miss Michaels. She's looking at, no. For all the good people here at the Lex Live Show, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. We know there are many options that you have, including Monday Night Football. Hopefully you join us thereafter. We will be back next Monday night, and we look forward to hearing from you as you tune in and check out our broadcast here on latalkradio.com. We look forward to welcoming Miss Gianna Michaels back again, as she will join us, and we look forward to having Miss Layla Price on again in the future as well.
I can't wait to come back.
All right. Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Gianna.
Thank you.
This is Lexington Steele at Lexi11, Lexington.Steele on Instagram. See you next week. Peace.
Good night.
You're listening to Lexington Steele Live with Lexington Steele and Michelle G. Right here on LA Talk Radio.